So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to split test like a six-figure organic dropshipper. This is probably one of the most requested videos apart from the live product research that I'd be doing on my channel. And this is definitely an art. This is something that took me a while to learn. And in this video, I'm literally just going to be breaking down exactly how I've been able to do this so successfully on both TikTok and on Instagram to make hundreds and thousands of dollars with organic dropshipping. So if you guys are new to the channel and have no idea who I am, my name is Kevin Martins. I do something called organic dropshipping. And in the last year and a half, I've been able to make over $300,000 combined with all of my dropshipping stores. And with this money, I've been able to cop my dream apartment here in Miami, Florida. I was able to start a real brand that goes beyond the typical dropshipping kind of model where you're just doing pump and dump products and not really taking it anywhere but just that. Where I'm getting hundreds of orders weekly. And then also I was able to hit my biggest day in e-com, which was a $8,449 day as a kid in his 20s, which is unbelievable to say that number. But this isn't going to be about me. This is really just going to be about how I was able to achieve this using this exact split test strategy, okay? And so everyone that takes advantage of this video has an insane edge of 99% of the competition that doesn't really know how to split test correctly. Because I'll be completely honest, I see a lot of people on my burner, I see a lot of people on YouTube, saying one thing, doing another, and there's just no longevity behind how people really split test, and they just don't even know how to do it correctly, right? And so if you actually watch this video, the whole entire thing, and you don't have, TikTok brain, and you can actually watch like a 20-minute video, these are the exact things I'm going to be teaching you that's going to literally separate you from 99% of the brain dead dropshippers that are around nowadays, okay? And so if you watch the video, you will leave this lesson, because this is truly a lesson, knowing how to split test on TikTok and on Instagram and how to do it with any product, right? This is universal, right? You can do this with any product in your arsenal. And I'm also going to be explaining why you suck, really, like why you actually suck at doing this, because a lot of people that try this, like they just suck. So first and foremost, we have to kind of dissect the term split testing, right? What is split testing? What is this crazy word, Kev? So split testing is the process of posting multiple variations of an already viral video to see which performs the best, right? We're going to be essentially be scientists for a little bit and really try to dissect the winning formula or the winning variable of that viral video, right? So we can go ahead and recreate the same video and change different components of it to continue to go viral. And so something that we can simply do is maybe just change the hook, right? Change the captions, change the sounds, or the initial background that you decided to use in that video, right? To find out what drives the most amount of views, engagement, and sales, and then really just double down on that winner, right? You guys hear me say that word a lot, double down on what's working, right? This is really what it pertains to, right? And so if we were to break it down into a very simple and kid-friendly version, let's say we have our viral video here. This video got us 1 million+ views and we got some traction, right? But in this viral video, we have different clips that we use, different captions, hooks, backgrounds, and audios, right? This is the first version of our viral video. But let's say we were trying to split test, right? We make a second version of this already viral concept, right? But we essentially keep the clips the same, caption the same, hook the same, background the same, but we decide to choose a different audio to see if this either drives sales or lower sales, right? We're really just trying to test here, right? Again, you could go ahead and make another version of this as well, where you're keeping the same amount of clips, same amount of captions. Maybe we change the hook, keep the background the same, keep the audio the same, right? Boom, we have another version right here. What I'm really trying to say here is that you want to test one single variable at a time to effectively track the data, right? Because if we're trying to change too many variables at once, we're not going to be effectively able to see what really made that pivotal difference to make us go viral again. And so what I'm trying to say here is that essentially when you have a viral video, you can realistically make over 4 different versions of that already winning concept, already went viral video. You know what I'm saying? And so really this is how you squeeze and do the most when it comes to, I guess like, this is like the smart way of finding longevity behind a viral video and really just squeezing the crap out of it, squeezing all the juice out, pause, and being able to effectively track data to make you more money in the future. Okay. So hopefully you guys get my point here with this very kid-friendly kind of thing. But why does it actually matter, right? So like I mentioned, efficiency, right? So instead of posting random videos, you test with intention and quickly see what works, right? This is the whole point of this, is to be efficient. Apart from that, we're going to be saving tons of time, right? So you stop wasting effort on content that doesn't perform and focus only on proven winners, right? We don't want to be wasting any time here, especially Q4. Data-driven growth, right? Every video teaches you what the algorithm and audience responds to, right? This is really when we're trying to dissect the data. Like I said, we're little scientists here, and we're really just trying to find what data in our winning kind of concept, winning video, is going to drive the most growth in the future. Scalability, right? This is how you really scale your stores up, because once you find a winning style, you can just go ahead and replicate that and multiply the results, right? And I'm going to be literally showing you a live example in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. And intentionality, right? You're no longer hoping, you're no longer guessing for a viral video. You're strategically engineering virality to where you can go ahead and replicate this for however long you can, right? And so we're no longer playing a game of gambling here with dropshipping, right? A lot of people like to be like, oh, you just got lucky with this video, blah, 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 blah. Yes, a lot of people do get lucky, don't get me wrong. But when you are part of the 1% that actually knows the game, right, and has a little bit of ball knowledge, you can literally replicate this and strategically engineer virality, right? And this is how you really take, drop shipping from a part-time thing to a full-time thing where you're literally printing money out of thin air, okay? And so with that being said, I'm first gonna show you what split testing looks on TikTok, right? So this is my personal account here, Merkface. You guys should all know this. I've done multiple case studies on this account specifically. I made about $25,000 in a singular month with this Deadpool mask. And this is essentially what split testing looks on TikTok, right? And then also, this is what split testing looks on IG. And so as you guys can see here, it looks a little bit different, right? And we're gonna really be just dissecting each individual platform to see how you could essentially split test, because to be completely honest, these platforms are a lot different, and it's very easy to get carried away and not really know what you're doing. It's almost like you're running with like your head chopped off, right? Like a chicken with the head chopped off, because a lot of people think that you can go ahead and split test the same exact way on Instagram like you can on TikTok, and that's just simply not it. So first and foremost, we're gonna go over TikTok, okay? Because this is by far my favorite platform, and I'll explain why. So essentially, step one is finding the outlier video, right? Like I mentioned before, we're really just trying to find out what our winning variable is going to be, right? And so realistically, you wanna start with proven concepts, right? So when you're starting your account on TikTok, you wanna research competitors or similar products in your niche to identify videos that already went viral, right? We're not really trying to reinvent the wheel here, trying to be Einstein. We're really just trying to save some time here and really just go at this with intention, right? And so really what we're trying to do here is copy to test, right? Copy to test, because you want to recreate these winning concepts with your product, right? You don't want to reinvent the wheel like I mentioned, and you really just want to test what's already been working in the past or what's currently working in the market, right? And so essentially, you want to post multiple variations of this already winning video, right? So you maybe want to change the hook, the angle, the sound, or the background, and your goal is to create as many different variations of this already proven kind of viral video from your competitor or maybe from your niche, whatnot, right? And this is what I call Frankensteining. I actually created this word a couple videos back. I'll probably leave a link up here so you guys can go ahead and watch this, where I fully dissect the Frankenstein method. But this is essentially what we call Frankensteining, okay? Or what I call it. But most importantly here, we're really just trying to spot the outlier. And again, one video will outperform the rest, right? That's what we call an outlier. And this is gonna be your signal, right? This is gonna be like, okay, it's time to start split testing, right? And so I'm gonna be showing you guys a real example of how this even looks, because a lot of you probably are lost right now, but let me go ahead and show you. So this is a Merkface. This was my first ever winner when it came to organic dropshipping, and by far like my favorite product I've ever ran to this day, even though it was like honestly the shittiest. But if we go to the account here, right, I'm gonna go ahead and sort this by the oldest videos, right? Like the first ever video here is right here. And you guys can see that off the bat, I was already going pretty freaking viral, right? And this is the power of bringing a super untapped product into the market and being essentially first to market, because this is how you get rewarded by the TikTok gods, right? But really what I'm trying to say here is that I essentially started Frankensteining. And what I mean by this is that I took inspiration from an account called Spidey Face, all right? You guys should know this already, but if you're new to the space, I'll go ahead and introduce you to Spidey Face. So Spidey Face, they made hundreds and thousands of dollars selling a very similar mask that really just targeted Spider-Man fans, right? And so if we go to their oldest videos, same as me, they were already going viral right off the bat. Again, they were first to kind of market this particular product. And so what I did was I took a lot of inspiration from Spidey Face because it was literally almost the same exact product, but just targeting a different niche, right? Different design. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my life a lot easier here and just extract some of these concepts and just literally recreate them with my Deadpool mask, right? And so something that I simply did, I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this tab right here so you guys could see how I really did this, and literally just honestly took no effort. And I recommend everyone to do this when they first start an account, because it's like, come on, bro, you should honestly save some time here. But as you guys can see, my first ever video was don't let the Deadpool fans see this mask. And so literally what I did was I extracted the first ever video he posted, and all I did, right, was change the word Spider-Man to Deadpool. That is literally all I did. And apart from the actual text hook that I changed, I literally just replicated the video one for one. And so boom, it worked, right? Obviously I did something a little bit different here. I did more of like an unboxing. So if you guys could take a look here, I like literally just did a full-blown unboxing, whereas, you know, Spidey Face, they already had the box out and whatnot, they opened it. But you guys kind of get the gist here, you know what I'm saying? And this was kind of like my first outlier in the sense, like, yeah, 1 million views, of course it's going to be an outlier. I just saved so much time by just extracting ideas from an already proven concept, right? Another example right here is don't let your boyfriend see this. What did I do here? Don't let your boyfriend see this. But I just showed a different mask, and boom, my second video did 2.6 million views, right? So I made it so much easier on myself. All right, so boom. We kind of did a little bit of Frankenstein here, right? We changed, you know, the word Spider-Man into Deadpool, and then we essentially made different variations of already winning concepts, right? So again, we found a couple outliers, but what's next, right? I don't want to get ahead of myself here. So step 2, you want to essentially take that outlier concept that you found, right? In this example, it was this one. And you want to essentially identify the video that outperformed the rest, right? And this is going to be your proof of concept, right? The proof of like, this is going to work, right? And so what I personally like to do is I like to re-record at the highest quality, right? So I'll essentially remake that same video, and I will record it at a better quality with better lighting, smoother editing, and clearer audio, right? Maybe just choosing a better sound, whatever, right? But I keep the same concept exactly the same, but really just polish the execution. And really what we're trying to do here is just tighten the delivery of the video. So maybe if you have to like chop some like bullshit clips out, make the video a little bit shorter to really increase the pacing, go ahead and do that, right? But really, you're trying to make a better version of that video. So one example that I have here is this kind of like contrast video that I did in particular. And this is exactly what I did. Like I literally doubled down and refined, right? So I'm going to show you the first version of like the shittier version right here. So if I go to the account, I think it's this one. Where is it? Yeah, this one right here. So take a look at this one, and then I'm going to show you the refined version right after. So take a look. All right, so this is going to be the first kind of outlier that I found. Like I was like, holy shit, this did 700,000 views, whatnot. Let me go ahead and just recreate this and make this a little bit better. And so what I did a couple of videos after, I made the same kind of version. I only changed the sound, but just take a look at what I did here. In my opinion, this was just a lot better of a version simply because I was really just getting into the nitty gritty of like the details of the actual mask. You could even hear some sound effects when I did like the little slingshot, and then I was also just like knocking on the mask as well. And also I presented this specific mask at first because it was just a lot crappier in my opinion, right? And so essentially what I did here, right, going back to the PowerPoint, is I tightened the delivery of the video. I think I even made it shorter, and I re-recorded at a way higher quality than the first version, right? And so as you guys can see, I literally just made a better version, right? The only thing I did change in the actual initial text hook, but while still keeping the same concept, is I went from what people think I sell to the mask people think I sell, and I just simply removed the emoji, right? And then boom, it just outperformed the first version. And so this is gonna be a good example of doubling down and refining an already winning concept, okay? Hopefully this makes sense to you guys. All right, so step 3 is going to be dissecting the winner. And so really what we're looking at here, right, is our winning variables, right? What made this video go viral, and what do I have to analyze to essentially recreate this and provide me with more longevity and more ideas for future videos, right? And really what we're doing here is we're just getting like the magnifying glass and we're identifying each individual driver to kind of prepare us for this kind of split testing phase, right? And so if we take a look at Merkface again, we go through the oldest videos, you guys can see that my first video did 1 million views and then my second video did 2.6 million. But you guys can see that something's a little bit similar, right? The text hook, right? I went from don't let Deadpool fans see this mask to don't let your boyfriend see this, right? So the text hook in itself is already very similar, right? And this is something that I split tested myself. But let's actually take a look at the second video since you saw the first one, and let's just take a look.
Friendly neighborhood pool guy singing, I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you.
Okay, so that's gonna be the second video right there. And something that I noticed off the bat, like I told you guys, is that we went ahead and noticed something, okay? The text hook is relatively the same, so this is definitely something that we can go ahead and split test, right? So we'll go ahead and add a little bit of a check here, whatever that is. Another thing too that I noticed was the initial video hook, right? The first 3 seconds of the video, right? So if we go ahead and choose the first video right here, we put a box down, we open it, then we actually just do a little bit of an unboxing here, and then boom, show the mask. Another thing too here is like, it's almost the same thing, but I made it a little bit quicker. Instead of doing like a full unboxing, I just put the box down and then showed the mask. So this is something that I could also test as well, right? The initial video hook. Sure, it's not the first 3 seconds because this one was a little bit more lengthy, but you guys get the gist here, right? The video hook is relatively the same. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and maybe add this into one of my components. Another thing too was the sound choice. So with the first video right here, I did your typical generic drop shipping sound, which was this one. And then for the second one, I did a very niche
friendly neighborhood pool
sound,
guy singing,
which was like a very popular Deadpool sound that was going around within the movie. If you know, you know. But this one obviously performed a lot better. This one did 2.6 million views. This one did 1 million. And so I'm like, okay, this is definitely something I could go ahead and test for future vids as well. The sound choice. Transitions, right? Did we change anything? So the first one, let's take a look. What type of transitions did I use? So we have the initial unboxing, and then any transition here. Okay, boom, I flip the mask, and then boom, I show it off. And then for my second video, what did I do? Okay, I did the same thing, and then panned out to me actually wearing the mask. Okay, so we can go ahead and maybe test this transition as well. So we'll go ahead and check this. Product variation, obviously there's only one variation, so we'll check that. The video length, let's take a look. So the first video was about 16 seconds long, and then the second one was 14 seconds long. So a little bit of a shorter video the second time, which outperformed the first. So this is something I could go ahead and think about too. I'm like, okay, let's maybe keep the video length, a little bit shorter, not going beyond the 14-second mark. So we'll go ahead and test this. And then obviously the concept, what video idea or what angle did I use? And so as you guys can see, the concept was more of a unboxing type of style, right? So again, I'm unboxing the box. That sounded funny. And then me putting on the Deadpool mask. And then the same thing goes with this one. I did more of an unboxing style and then transitioned to me wearing the mask. So relatively the same kind of concept going on here. Although I did change the angle a little bit different. I did change the angle, right? Because I went from just targeting just generic Deadpool fans to more specifically boyfriends, right? And so I'm like, okay, boyfriend, maybe let's add this to the arsenal as well when it comes to maybe the angle that I go ahead and utilize, right? And so really here is just analyzing the components, getting them ready for split testing, and this is when we get into step 4, right? And this is really where we get into the art of the split testing, right? Because now that we found our variables, it's time to go ahead and test them, right? So we're gonna go ahead and test the text hooks that we noticed, video hooks, sound choices, transitions. You get the gist, right? But really what we're trying to do here is try to test very little components at once, because if you do too much at once, you're not going to necessarily know what worked, right? Because let's say we're trying to test 15 of these different elements at once, it's going to be impossible to know what element really made that pivotal drive. You know what I'm saying? And again, just remember, guys, quick little tip for you guys: never reuse clips on TikTok, because you're going to get flagged for reposting, right? And so you always want to make sure that you re-record every time you go ahead and make a new video, right? And really just read the data, measure the views, engagement, conversions, and again, double down on proven winners and cut the losers. So enough yapping, enough hypothetical stuff. Let's see how I actually implemented this. And what I'm gonna be dissecting here for the sake of this video, because there's just so many things that I split tested, is going to be the concepts that I use, right? We're just gonna be talking about this one variable for today's video, but just know that I was split testing basically everything, right? But for the sake of the video, this would be way too long. We're just gonna be dissecting the concepts that I used. And so these are going to be the first 6 videos of the account. As you guys can see right here, if we go to the oldest videos, they're right here. And in the beginning of the life cycle, you guys can see that 5 of the 6 first videos were unboxing styles, right? And so off the bat, with the proof of concept that I noticed from the first 3 videos, I was like, okay, these unboxing styles do very well. Even just looking back at Spidey Face, like they were just doing phenomenal. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and double down on the unboxing style of videos. And also by the 6th video, I was already posting a CTA. If you guys know what a CTA is, it's pretty much a call to action. It's a very salesy video to drive traffic to your website, okay? And so these were the first 6 videos. Then we go ahead and take a look at the next 12. And not only was I still incorporating unboxing videos here with the red check marks, right? As you guys can see, still printing views. I also decided to go ahead and do some contrast videos, right? Showing off different variations of Deadpool mask and just pretty much saying how mine's better, right? And you guys can see I was still doing CTAs, although the CTA was a little bit different, right? Because I was using AI, but I was pretty much just still kind of testing here, right? Not only was I doubling down on the unboxing concepts, I was also trying to test other concepts, like I said, with the contrast videos. And they were all performing phenomenal, like so many views, as you guys can see here. Now, if we keep on going, eventually this doesn't last forever. And this is where most people give up, because this is like, again, another 12 videos. And you guys can see that I completely just started to drop off, right? I was testing. Nothing was really working. Yes, I have this video right here, which I kind of pioneered. I was kind of using like a trend. But again, it wasn't anything crazy, right? And so this is where most of you give up, right? And this is why you suck, because a lot of you, will just drop the product right here. This is where it ends, because you're like, oh, yep, doesn't get any more views, doesn't get a million views. I'm just going to drop it, right? But this is really where the platform is demanding a little bit more from you, like a little bit more creativity. Wow, can you believe it? Yeah, because that's how you're essentially going to create longevity, is by continuing to be creative, coming up with new concepts, continuing to test and refining different variations, and really just becoming a scientist. Like I said, like this is the 3rd time I said this, like a lot of you give up here because you're not seeing the results you want to see. And yeah, it's going to require you to think a little bit more, but that's exactly what the platform wants. And so I did this. I was like, okay, obviously something's not working. Maybe let's backtrack. Let's take a look. And something that I noticed from the CTA video, right, was that I used AI. As you guys can see, I got 300,000 views on a CTA. If you know anything about organic, like that's insane. You don't get anything like remotely close to that when it comes to CTAs. But I noticed with this one, I used AI. And so with that being said, at this point, I was all right, let me go ahead and maybe test some AI concepts. I don't know, I'll give it one more chance. And then boom, as you guys can see, we started blowing the F up, right? So right here, we have 7 AI videos, 5 unboxing videos, and 6 contrast videos. And as you guys can see, I tested a contrast video right there. And then I started with the AI. I was doing like these AI voiceover videos. And again, this is still an outlier, right? 26,000 views. I was like, okay, this could be worth something. And then boom, I did it again and got 260,000 views, as you guys can see. And then boom, I did it again, 800,000, 600,000, 12K, 60K, 30K, or sorry, 10K, you know what I'm saying? And so again, most of you would have stopped right here, but I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and figure this shit out. Let me be a man. And then boom, I figured it out. So these AI videos, no bullshit, maybe an extra $10,000, because I was willing to go ahead and look and backtrack at the data and be like, okay, let me go ahead and refine this, make it a little bit better, come up with new concepts, and then boom, it worked. You know what I'm saying? And I was also still testing unboxing videos and contrast videos at the same time, right? And so this is how I personally started to split test on Merkface, right? I was really hammering down the concepts apart from everything else. Like I said, for the sake of this video, you guys can see that I read the data. I saw that the unboxing videos were doing really good at first. I continued doing the unboxing videos, right? This shit got 4 million views, but I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and test some new aspects of it, of like concepts. And so I started doing contrast videos, and then I started integrating AI, and I continued doubling down. Again, most of you, this is where you like give up, but I continued doubling down. And then boom, it just printed me more views. And so this is literally how I personally split tested on TikTok, right? I really hammered down the concepts and really just milked it, right? I milked it as much as possible, Frankensteining different videos, refining, testing new concepts, doubling down, and then boom. This is really how you split test on TikTok efficiently and effectively. And this is by far the best method that I've come up with that's been able to give me this type of longevity when it comes to TikTok products. Because as you guys know, TikTok is known for not having longevity. And this is really how you do it, right? And again, you guys can go ahead and take a look at the account for yourself and see this in real time and really just study. Because like I said, not only did I split test concepts, I split tested a whole bunch of different components, okay? Now we're gonna talk about Instagram. Yes, this monstrous platform where split testing is definitely a lot different. As you guys can see, this is what split testing looks on TikTok, and this is what split testing looks on IG. All right, so step one when it comes to Instagram is obviously going to be finding the outlier. And typically what we do as dropshippers, right, is we go ahead and post our initial video on TikTok and then we repurpose it on Instagram Reels, right? And really what we're trying to do here is, again, track the data, identify which reposted video performed the best, and really the highest performing reel becomes your core concept to split test and refine, right? So almost like step one on TikTok, we're really just trying to find the outlier, right? Step two would kind of be the same, right? Doubling down and refining. So again, re-recording the viral video at the highest quality, improving the lighting, editing, captions, and storytelling, and then really sticking with that winning concept and not jumping to new ones. So as opposed to what I did with Merkface, right, where I was testing different concepts and continuing to go viral, when it comes to Instagram, you're quite literally doing the opposite. You're literally sticking to one singular thing and then doubling down on that, right? And so lastly, you're going to be dissecting the winner, right? Analyzing what made it work, right? So was it the caption? Was it the video hook? Was it the sound? Was it the product variation, the length of the video, the concept? You know what I'm saying? This is where you really get down into the nitty gritty and dissect the winner, right? And so really what we're doing is basically the same thing, but unlike TikTok, which favors new concepts, Instagram rewards sticking to one proven concept, right? Like you don't want to switch shit, okay? And I'll show you how. But you really want to split test with only that winner, so within that winner. And so again, you're going to be trying different captions, different text overlays, different sounds, shots, different clips. And again, always re-record on IG. In the beginning, like TikTok, it prefers kind of fresh reels. So again, just literally re-record those winning clips. And then later on, you can go ahead and start reposting, because I'll be honest, with Instagram, it's like the wild, wild west, bro. You could repost a whole bunch of stuff and, still be able to go viral. But really what we're trying to do is refine, and again, don't abandon that format that got you the views in the first place, and then maximize reach by milking the winner. And so Kevin, what do you mean by this? Let's take a look at Glow Gesture. Like I mentioned, these guys were getting millions and millions of views, and let's go ahead and dissect the account. So this is going to be the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos within Glow Gesture, right? And as you guys can see, he wasn't getting a lot of traction in the beginning. First video did 4,000 views, 5,000 views, 2,000, and then boom, an outlier right here. This got 173,000 views, and then as you guys can see, it didn't necessarily go too crazy, right? But as you guys can see right here, when it came to the text hooks, he was really targeting the road rage sister, right? So everything that says S here is targeting a sister, right? So we got road rage sister, road rage sister, road raging sister, road raging sister, right? So again, this guy was going ahead and targeting the road raging sister, as you guys can see. And so if we take a look at this right here, this was the exact video that he made targeting a road raging sister, right? He's literally walking up to this desk. He's going up to it. He's turning it on. And then he's going ahead and transitioning it to the actual car and showing the final product, really, okay? And so this is what he did for that 173,000 view video. But again, really targeting road raging sisters, right? And so after this is where most of you give up again, right? Because again, he went ahead and started posting some more videos, but as you guys can see, 3,000, 6,000, 1,000, 28K, 2,000, 200,000, 354. Again, this is where most of you would go ahead and give up during this stage, because again, you're not seeing millions and millions of views, but this is really when you have to just stick to it, bro. Just, like literally just trust the process, right? Because again, everything that says in letter S here, he's targeting that road raging sister. And so again, he doubled down on what was working, right? He found this initial outlier and he was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and stick to the process, stick to the plan. And yes, some videos did flop, but some did relatively good, right? 200K, 54K. Again, this isn't anything crazy, But this is where most of you give up. And so if we keep on going, you guys can see that because he stuck to the process, he continued targeting this initial text hook of, I bought this for my road raging sister, right? And now she won't stop using it. This is what happens when you stick to a system, a process, right? Because in the beginning of the life cycle, he noticed this, he continued to double down, he didn't give up, and then boom, as you guys can see, the Instagram gods just literally fed him millions and millions of views. So not only was he testing the initial text hook of the video, because as you guys can see, they're basically identical, right? Some of them were different emojis, some of them was like different wording, but he was almost always targeting that road raging sister. Not only that, but he was also testing the initial video hook, right? He was split testing the video hook. As you guys see, these are his most viral videos, and every time you see this goddamn table, right? Or another variation, right? But again, what I'm trying to say here is that he was testing multiple components at once, right? So he was not only testing the video hook with the motherfucking table, he was also testing the text hook, different sounds, the body clips, and then the finale, right? Because if we go to his 52 million view video right here, you guys can see this in play. And I'll go ahead and play the video. Keeping the text hook the same.
Bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I let all that get to my head.
Right? So yes, we kept the text hook the same. Let's go ahead and take a look at another video that also did very well for him. 16 million views. Let's see if there are any differences.
Yeah, bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I let all that get to my head.
So very, very similar video, guys. Like, yes, he changed something. Like, dude, he changed something as simple as like the emojis and maybe some of the wording, right? He went from I bought this for my road raging sister and now she won't stop using it to I bought this for my road raging sister and now she can't act right, right? So he went from won't stop using it to can't act right and then added 2 more emojis, right? And boom, it went viral again, bro. And like literally used the same sound from Doja Cat, this particular song. I think it's called like Paint the Town Red. Apart from that too, he was split testing the body clips. So as you guys see, let's even take a look at this one. Like it's the same shit. The body clips are relatively the same. It's him just flipping it, putting it on the car, turning it on, and then showing the finale right here, right? And with a little quick CTA that you can do on Instagram, right? You can definitely get away with this. But they're mostly the same, right? And he was doing this over and over and over again, and you could see how the platform rewarded him for it. So not only was he testing the video hook, he was also testing the text hook, he was testing the sound, he was testing the body clips and the initial and the final clip right there. And so you could see how with Instagram, it's really just sticking to one singular video style and continuing to test all those different variables to where you can successfully do this over and over and over again. And so as you guys can see, he's been doing this for over a year now, and he's kind of changed the setting a little bit, but you guys can see the text hook. It's just literally the same till this day. Over a year of split testing and doing this shit and reposting, he's still able to get millions, hundreds of thousands of views almost on a daily basis, right? Yes, he kind of changed a couple things now. He changed the sound a little bit. You know, he started split testing different sounds, different vehicles. He's in a Tesla now, different transitions. But you guys get the gist here, right? You could just keep doing this over and over and over again. And again, finding a winning concept, doubling down and rinsing and repeating it and literally just milking it dry until you have to find something else. So yeah, that's pretty much the difference between split testing on TikTok and split testing on Instagram. As you guys can see, they're a lot different, but there's truly an art to this, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter how you put it, you're dissecting the video and really just finding the key components. It's almost like we're scientists, right? It's like the 5th time I mentioned this in this video, and we're really just trying to figure out what made this video go viral and how can we go ahead and replicate this success to essentially bring us longevity. And yes, Instagram is a lot more lenient when it comes to just reusing shit and sticking to one singular concept and really just milking it dry. While with TikTok, it's just demanding a lot more creativity, but there's still systems in both, right? But again, it's a matter of learning these things, right? And truly just using both to your advantage, because a lot of people like to only stick to one platform when it comes to organic. Like a lot of people are like, yeah, Instagram's the best way to do it. Like just only stick to Instagram. But why? Why can't you go ahead and tap into TikTok, right? And also learn the platform for what it is and actually make money from both, right? Like you have to start thinking and being a little bit more omnipresent when it comes to your videos, because you're really just leaving money on the table, just only focusing on one platform when you could realistically be making money from both. Like, why not do both? And again, I just see a lot of people just only focusing on Instagram and not really learning TikTok for what it is, because they just simply don't know how to. So hopefully this video gave you a better idea of both platforms and how you can really just utilize both of them and make as much money as possible by learning the art of split testing, right? And this is how I've personally been able to make over $300,000 on both platforms, and because I learned, because I studied both and really just started dissecting this, right? And so hopefully you guys did find some value from this video. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Also, if you guys are looking to work one-on-one with me personally, where I'll literally guide you through this whole entire process for your particular product, as well as pick your winning products going into Q4, in the description below, you guys can go ahead and apply to work one-on-one with me. Or we'll hop on a call together so I can know a little bit more about your particular situation and really just see how I could personally help you. And like I said before, we are currently 7 days away from the biggest time of the year for us organic dropshippers. So like I said, if you guys do want to fast track your progress and really go into Q4 with full momentum, go ahead, check out that link in the description. And with that being said, guys, I hope you guys truly found some value from this video. I appreciate all the feedback that I've been receiving from all of you. Like, it's truly been amazing how crazy this channel's been growing. And with that being said, I want to say thank you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.